Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, we're at $3.98 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 4.9%. Bitcoin 118,700 plus. Ethereum 3850 and change. XRP number 3 spots 316. We're off 1% in the 24. We're off 10.1 on the 7-day. Range of price between 309 and 321. We'll keep an eye on it. I want to remind everybody about Caleb and Brown. I tell you, I love this crypto brokerage right here. All you have to do is go to XRPWealth589.com and sign up today. And let me just tell you a little something. This is what makes it so great. No hidden fees, no spreads, no charge, free institutional grade custody, one flat fee for trading. And let me tell you something, multiple layers of security. And by the way, you can also, because they have such incredible human customer service, you can call and speak to a person. You can actually put special restrictions on your account. So there's no need to worry about being hacked, whether it's on your side or their side. I can tell you, you take those measures and you'll start getting the best night's sleep you've ever had in your life. All you got to do is go to XRPWealth589.com and open up your free account today. You'll see. You'll see. Well, this is a reminder right here of what's coming. Remember that report from the White House coming out tomorrow.
I think there's really three things that people are kind of paying attention to. The first is the United States government at some point is going to announce that they're buying Bitcoin. Creating the initial Bitcoin kind of strategic reserve and sitting the Bitcoin that we already had there was good, but that's kind of the, not the main dish. The main dish is when they start buying, and I think that will happen at some point. The second thing I think you're going to see is you're going to see some of the last standing people on Wall Street capitulate. And so there's a couple of firms that continue to say, hey, we think that this is speculative. We think this isn't good enough for our clients. I think that they'll kind of eventually give up and wave the white flag.
And then finally, Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Look, I mean, I think he's spot on here. We got to get that report. I think that report is going to let us understand how quickly this Bitcoin strategic reserve and stockpile, digital asset stockpile reserve will be coming together. And I do believe it will be coming together. It is going to be exciting to get that report tomorrow. Meanwhile, Dr. Martin Heisboik, research guy from Uphold, says here, brilliant analysis. What if Tom is right? He says, is Bitcoin approaching a generational peak? Examining the doom of doom hypothesis, he says, showing essentially, could Bitcoin be in a macro top that starts to unwind as time goes on here? Now, I had this to say, if countries add Bitcoin to the strategic reserve, just as we heard Anthony Pompliano talking about here in the clip previously, well, then that will play a factor in changing this chart because that's not going to happen if they adopt that. That chart's not dipping down. If countries start putting it in a reserve, you can bet your bottom dollar this chart won't be accurate. However, if we don't see that level of adoption, and Bitcoin struggles to find a place as utility becomes the price driver of this market, then yes, maybe this could be an arc that we see take place, but looking highly unlikely. All right, this is Charles Hoskinson right here. I gotta play this. Shout out to Crypto Insight UK. This guy's straight fire. Take a listen to this clip.
Why don't you just convert all your ADA to Bitcoin? It's like, okay, so we can make less money. As an ecosystem.
You think ADA will still outperform BTC in the future?
Of course, because how much farther can Bitcoin go?
Exactly.
Maybe to 1 million. Okay, it's a 10x. ADA can go 100x, 1000x over this. It's like, guys, we're not a second-class citizen. Cardano does substantially more, and because of Bitcoin DeFi, it's going to end up probably being the yield layer of Bitcoin.
So there you have that. And look, this same conversation extends to a lot of altcoins, XRP being included. There's so much more upside to these altcoins in this space than a Bitcoin. Like he said, if you're $1 million Bitcoin, that's a 10x. That's nothing compared to what XRP and ADA and other tokens can do. So in a moment where we're getting ready to see an explosive cycle for digital asset adoption, I would really, and I know that I've been doing this and we've been doing it inside the DPMG, really paying close attention to what's our position in our portfolio. And we may be, we may have been set up perfectly for the moment that we're in now, but right now is the time to start thinking about what's the next wave coming. Have I looked at all the corporate treasuries that are holding XRP and said, hey, should I be invested in those corporates too? Have I looked at all the different projects launching off the XRP ledger like Ondo Finance, Axelar? Have I looked at all these other things to see how viable they are? And should I have an exposure to those as well? These are the questions that we're talking about inside the DPMG right now. And then obviously yield wars, which are coming. So meanwhile, update: the SEC delays decision on Grayscale Solana ETF. Say it isn't so. The new deadline is set for October 10th, 2025. And there's been a few others as well. So September being another date to watch out for. So we've got a few months where we start having this ETF conversation all over again. But I do want to point to the news that was out yesterday, and it is happening, that PayPal says tired of paying high transaction fees. Now they've reduced the fees by 90%, offering pay with crypto for payments. And this does include access to 100 cryptocurrencies, XRP being one of them. This is an incredible step forward. I even said yesterday, for those who are still a little confused here, this is a flip of the switch moment. And then someone took issue with it. This is not a flip of the switch. Well, you know what? Don't believe it. It's still true. Here's the deal. This is a legacy company that does payments that is now crossed over into the digital asset space. And it's not just for buying these assets, which you can do. It's also for using them for payments. I don't care what anyone says at my house. This is a flip of the switch moment, and there will be many of them. This isn't the only one. And people think flip of the switch moment, and that's where we go from the current price to some 589 or whatever. Well, good for you. But for me, flip of the switch moment is when you see the legacy payment and financial institutions tapping into this technology for better efficiency and experience for their customers and themselves. That's real adoption. That's a flip of the switch for me. And meanwhile, with the news of PayPal launching a new service with Pay Crypto and XRP being included, how long until X Money launches on X? Hey, Elon, Linda Yaccarino, can we get that launch on that app? You gonna let PayPal come out and do that to you? You know when Elon was originally the PayPal mafia? Well, more expansion is RackBank is rolling out XRP and crypto services to retail users. Boy, I remember somebody saying that banks won't offer crypto. They won't do these things. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Or is it that you just want everyone to use what you're doing? The UAE isn't guessing. They've been working with Ripple. This isn't hype, it's deployment. The flip is closer than they'll admit. And I agree with this. Banks are gearing up around the world, Bank of America included here at home, to offer crypto services, stable coin issuance, a whole bit. It's coming. What are we waiting for? The Clarity Act. And by the way, all of this will be crypto too. Shout out to Dom and Phil Kwok, who were on the New York Stock Exchange yesterday. I won't play the music, but they're balling, showing up. Everybody looking at them. Who are these guys? You know who these guys are? These guys are here to tell you, the New York Stock Exchange, that all this is about to be tokenized crypto. Write it down. Come on in. Easy A, boy, holding it down in New York. These guys are legends. And if you haven't seen the first video where Dom Kwok gives his first time ever prediction for XRP price of $1,000 by 2030, this guy running all over the world to make sure the adoption happens to get us there, I tell you what, I'm inclined to lean in. Fidelity National Information Services, FIS, Just Fidelity National Information Services, that's all, revealed its collaboration with Circle Internet Group to integrate stablecoin-based transactions for banks and financial firms. I'm not done with you yet. You know Chad Steingraber went and got all of this. FIS, Circle, and RippleNet. Hello, XRP. That's a green check. Here it is. Financial services giant FIS is leveraging Ripple's RippleNet cross-border remittance payments built on the XRP ledger. I know the Maxis don't want to hear it. God bless them. Somebody give them a bib. In addition to RippleNet integration, FIS has recently partnered with Circle as well to enable U.S. financial institutions to offer USDC stablecoin payment options to their customers. This is where we're going. Oh, goodness. I just love it. And what about this case? Can somebody tell me what's going on with this case? Well, of all people, former SEC guy, Mark Fagel, who's never been a fan of Ripple or XRP throughout the case. Shout out to you, Mark, who has great musical taste. I will not take that away from you, Mark. I will not. He's got great musical taste. And I don't know if he's still doing like music posts or whatever, but I used to really enjoy those, Mark. And I disagreed with you wholeheartedly about the SEC versus Ripple case, and that's totally fine. But you have fantastic musical taste, brother. Mark Fagel believes that the Ripple and the SEC will likely drop their appeals before August 15th. Let's get into that because I love that. And you know what? Why don't we just push it up till today, right? Why don't we do that? That'll get price turned around a little bit. He says, I believe that the date for the parties to report on the status of their appeals, it doesn't mean it's hard deadline by which they must file their dismissal papers, but I assume they will try to do so before then, he says. He goes on to say here basically that previously when anticipated of potential settlement on August 15th ran high, Mark Fagel clarified the significance of the date. He explained that August 15th marks the deadline for both parties to submit a status report with no direct connection to the case's outcome. Fagel also reinforced this point in a recent post stating that while both parties may file for a dismissal of their appeals before August 15th, this doesn't imply a settlement will be reached by then. So essentially, this could be over 5 minutes ago and none of us know about it yet because you've been listening to my video. What are you doing? You know, I'm kidding. But nonetheless, we are in the the final countdown. Yeah, I just did that to you. Yes, I did. And now you won't get that song out of your head for the rest of the week. You're welcome. XRP price will no doubt go up mid-August, says Vincent Van Code. If the SEC formally files appeal for dismissal, then potentially we see hundreds of existing 1,700 NDAs companies coming out, and potentially ETFs being approved, and more filings for the bigger boys. And I see this exactly as a way of unfolding here. Yeah, I say, can you bring it on? Because we're ready for it. Shout out to Vincent Van Code for that. And I wanted to share this just because, wait a minute, I got to turn that music off. I don't know if that's copyright issue, but I wanted to share this. And this is the top 20 crypto tokens in the crypto market cap from 2017 to 25 based on market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum and stable coins. Now, what I want to do is go all the way to 24. And in 2024, okay, I'm going to go right here. And let's just go July, because that's 1 year ago. We were at a $30 billion plus market cap for XRP. And today, over 167 billion. In 1 year, we have seen 130 billion plus flood into this market cap for XRP. Now you think about that for a second. That's quite a statement. That's why I wanted to show it to you. And on the short side of things, Crypto Wizard says XRP explode upside, pulled back and retested the previous high as many convinced themselves it's over. We're getting ready for more. Please prepare for $4.50 as the next target. Now, that's on the upside. And here from Dark Defender is something very similar where he says he shared the weekly structure aiming at 361 on July 6th. And here is the daily chart of that wave structure. It is clear that XRP completed wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. Wave 4 is in progress. And we know wave 5 is the big wave up at the end. RSI also reflects the fourth wave consolidation. Wave 5 is expected to be a target of $5.85. Support found at 307 should we roll the wrong way, but that's where we are on this day. Listen, it's not financial advice for me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I just want to say, I know that we're very close, and I know all of you know that too. But at the same time, there is so much more to be ready for. Just getting the windfall isn't enough. And soon I will be opening up the window to join the DPMG for a very limited amount of time. And it is extremely affordable, and it has so much in there that can help you get you and your family pointed in the right direction at the time that you may find you're more wealthy than you've ever been in your life. If you're interested, DM me or just listen for the next opportunity to come into the group. But if you DM me, it will absolutely heighten your chances to be brought in and invited to the group. No question about it, which is a very limited exposure. Again, not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.